Hi everybody. Okay, so before I start this off, I noticed that in the previous videos I've been saying quite a bit, so I'm going to try to cut that down as best as I can. So, what I'm going to be covering today is episode 5 of Fear the Walking Dead's Fear the Walking Dead, called Cobalt. And at the very beginning, you can see that that Ophelia Salazar is very angry. She wants to see her mom. She's throwing alcohol bottles basically at the fence. She's saying she wants her mom. She's doing everything like this, and her boyfriend basically steps up. Her boyfriend named, I have this written down, I know I do, Andrew, basically steps up and says that he's going to go ahead and take care of it, that the sergeant doesn't need to. And the sergeant saying that that Moyers basically is stating that something has to be done. So Andrew goes ahead and gets inside the gate, talks to her, and then he starts taking her home. Something happens after that, and I'll kind of briefly explain that in a little bit. So Travis, he's talking to Moyers, and he starts telling about certain things that are kind of going on, and that if certain things don't happen, that it's not just going to be, if they don't come back, Nick and Griselda don't come back, that there's going to be more happening, and it's not just going to be him that's going to be coming after them. And Moyers asks, is that a threat? And he's saying, no, it's not a threat. So Moyers basically says, okay, well, you're going to be coming with us to go to Liza. And he's saying, wait, I thought that I couldn't go. And Moyers basically goes, you can't, but we can. We have guns. So that kind of lets you know a little bit about the situation of they're just not willing to do certain things, even though they could take them there, due to the fact that they have guns and the other people don't. Travis does go out with them, and they do stop at a place because one of them spots a zombie, somebody that has been turned. Moyers sets up a sniper rifle and tries to have Travis shoot, and Travis is just adamant about not doing it. Moyers finally has him look at the scope, and he's looking at this zombie from a long distance away. He sees her face. You can see he was maybe about to fire, and then he sees the zombie's face. He kind of backs away, and Moyers basically tries to push him into firing again, or trying to fire. And Travis once again looks. He sees the name of the zombie, and he just cannot do it. And Moyers is like, I thought so. And basically, in that entire exchange before Travis even started, Moyers was saying that, so you want us to be the ones that do the dirty work while your hands are clean. And that's not what Travis is trying to do. You already can tell before that he hated guns. He did not want to touch it, but Moyers kind of forced him to do it. And when they were getting back in the truck, they were hearing about a library that was overrun that had their men in it. And so, I mean, they get there, and the entire place is overrun. You see zombies falling out of windows. You could tell that they did a couple of headshots on the zombies, and they threw a grenade, and then got the hell out of there to head back. Ophelia and her boyfriend go back, and Daniel Salazar ties him up to a chair and tries to get Ophelia out of there, and tries to tell Madison. After Madison finds out what's going on, Madison finds them, tries to figure out what's going on, and she's saying that she doesn't want Daniel to hurt him, and Daniel kind of puts out a very tough choice. You can have your crown of thorns, or you can have, I forget the other example, 30 silver or something like that. And she doesn't give him a reply. Basically, he took it as, you need to do what you need to do. So he tortured Andrew to get information out of him about what is going on, what is Operation Cobalt, because that radio is right there, and they were repeating it over and over again. And even in the scene where Travis was in the vehicle, you could hear a little bit about Cobalt. They were mentioning it. Now, in the end, he does get information out of him about what Cobalt is. It's the extraction in the military. It's the humane termination the survivors that are in the LA bases. And yeah. So you also get to find out about Griselda. She basically went into surgery. She had her leg amputated. Liza was trying to figure out what happened there, and the doctor named, sorry, I'm trying to find it really quickly. I have it written here somewhere. Bethany. Doctor named Bethany, who asked for her help, actually, stated that she's fine. She really can't be seen. She's in recovery right now. Liza goes ahead and sneaks away, tries to find out exactly where she is, finds her, and then Bethany catches her in the act, saying, "Why don't you trust me?" And she wanted to see her. And a little bit later on, what ends up happening is Bethany says that she's in a certain state of shock, and before she actually, her head is starting to swell, that her brain is swelling, and before she dies, you can tell she's having hallucinations and she's talking, and Liza's not exactly understanding what she's meaning, but you could definitely tell she knew she was going to die. You could tell she was either talking to some sort of angel or demon or whatever she was thinking she was talking to. And right before she died, she said, "Do whatever you will," and then she died. And Bethany took out basically this charged air-powered pellet gun, and she was about to shoot her. Basically, put the gun directly to her head and was about to, but Liza instead did it. And honestly, I think Griselda's death wasn't, going in thinking about it, Griselda's death really wasn't a major one, because she really wasn't a major character. You didn't get to have a whole lot of screen time with her, I felt, at least. Yeah, she was integral to how Daniel acts and how Griselda, or how Ophelia acts, Ophelia wanting her mother, but other than that, she really didn't have too much screen time. Which you could also tell that because of everything going on and the way the military were acting, you're also getting set up for the fact that they were probably going to kill her anyways. And so that's why I don't think it's a major death. I think that one's a minor one. So I'm going to go on to the next part of where actually Nick is. Nick is in a cell. He didn't get a whole lot of time around this time, but the time that he was on screen was actually pretty major. There's a person that he's with by the name of, come on, Victor. Sorry. Yeah, by the name of Victor, and Victor initially talks to Travis's neighbor and gets it so that way he just cracks, so the military will take him away. And a little bit later, they're checking people's temperature, and Victor, his temperature is normal, but Nick's wasn't, and Victor could tell that Nick was somebody that he might actually need later on. And so he talked to a person, one of the military guys named Melvin, who he had previous dealings with and already did something. You couldn't exactly tell what at that point in time, but later you find out he bought a key for an expensive watch that he had, and this time he traded pretty expensive diamond cufflinks in exchange to keep Nick around, which actually at that point in time is smart. You could already tell by what he was saying, and he directly stated it, that the game had changed completely with whatever was going on, and he wanted to have Nick as somebody that he had basically in his pocket to do what needed to be done, and realizing that Nick would do whatever needed to be done so that way he can get out. And they had a small talk. It wasn't that long. You could definitely tell episode 6, it's going to be a lot bigger between the two of them, and there's going to be a lot more time. So that entire thing kind of, once again, didn't have that much screen time, but was big enough so that way you can understand that something is going to go on later. The last thing I'm going to cover is Chris and Alicia. They had a little bit of screen time too, but in the meantime, they went into a rich person's home, basically broke in, and started wearing their clothes, started breaking things that were around the house, and also playing with Chris was playing with the toys. They both dressed up really nicely, but the part about that really is kind of big is the fact of when they're coming home, they see the National Guard or the National Guard army kind of coming around the corner, and they initially try to hide. And Chris is noticing that they're not looking for them. They're not looking for people that are out past curfew. They're driving away. They're getting out of there, and essentially. And he kind of steps out when the next vehicle is kind of popping by, and Alicia's wondering what he's doing. He's saying, they're not here to collect us. They're going. And Alicia says something's going on. So that for here is pretty much the end of the review of it. Honestly, I kind of like this episode a lot better than I did number 4. Number 4 really wasn't that much. In this one, at least you got to see a zombie. You got to understand a little bit more of what the medical staff is doing, what they're dealing with, and the fact that there's going to be hard choices that are going to be coming later. You find out about the stadium that got completely overrun by zombies, and even the soldier Andrew was saying he couldn't tell which one was infected from living, and that they boarded up the entrance and chained the entrance closed, to where Daniel at the very end goes ahead and checks this out. I think that is honestly where one of the zombie herds that I predicted in my predictions video for episodes 5 and 6, I think that's where one of the herds is going to come from. I think they're going to break out. I'll cover that in the next video, the predictions video though. So with that, this video is over. I'm going to say for the entire episode, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. It was actually pretty decent. And so with that, if you like the video, please like it, thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you want to leave a comment or if you want to ask questions, please do so. I'll probably do a Q&A if I ever get questions. So yeah, and I'll be doing a predictions video for episode 6 here within a day or so. Alright, thank you. Have a good day.